imagine 200 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
You are a king or a lord or a landowner, and you go to a village and you look around, and you know that you live in a big castle and you have some system and organization. You go to the village and you look at the mess and the dirt and just the bad conditions. Yeah, absolutely. And you think, "Bleh, this is not good," because these are my people, right? So we have to do something about this. And there's a famous story about the King of France opened the windows of his palace one day, and all he could smell was shit from the city. So after that day, all the windows in the king's palace had to be closed all of the time because the smell was so bad. And if you notice that the big palaces were always miles away from everywhere and everything because they didn't want to live in the city because the city smelled so bad. In fact, you know why rich people live on the top floor? You know why? Do you know why rich people live at the top? Because there were no toilets in the past. Do you know what they did? They had a hole in the floor, in the room. And the shit just went from the top floor to the next floor to the next floor, next floor. Right. So you can, especially if you've got a heart, it hurts. It's painful when you look at the children in these areas, and you see that they don't have anything, right? They have no future because their present is shit.
I agree. The school system in Slovakia is absolutely shit.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But the point I want to make is that I can understand why the upper classes said, okay, we have to do something. So we create schools and we take the children away from the parents and we put them in schools, which is basically what they do. Government creates a rule, all children must go to school. The government takes the children, puts the children in school for 8 hours a day, and is habit learn, study, science, mathematics, languages, sports. Because the alternative for a lot of people, not for everybody, but for a lot of people, is no future. No future if you don't learn anything. And so I understand that, and we forget that we're privileged in this part of the world, Western culture, Western society, because Europe and North America leads the world in terms of standards of living. You go to Africa, go to Indonesia, go to parts of China, go to parts of Russia, and go to parts of South America. It's hell, right? It's hell. Look at Venezuela right now. No food. The people have to steal the animals from the zoo so that they can eat. It's crazy. And so I can understand this approach that we need schools, we need to help people, because average intelligence is still very low, and we need education to give people good habits. And more importantly, to give people a chance. Because if you don't get children away from their parents, they will only know what their parents know, and they will only do what their parents do. And that means no progress. It means just that it's a circle, and we go round and round in the same circle, and we never learn anything. So I can understand this school system. Even if it's bad, I can still understand why we need it. Because the parents don't know what to do. It was only 100 years ago that children went to work at the age of 13, didn't speak languages, people couldn't communicate with each other. There were no... I mean, even in the village where I lived, Rostoka, there was no basic sewer system still there, right? And that's today. We're, what are we, 2017, right? And there are large parts of this country that don't have a way of, they've got toilets, but the toilets just go into the river.
Yeah.
Still.
Yeah.
Still. I mean, that's no different from 1,000 years ago, right? And so how do you make progress? Yeah, you have to apply force and pressure. You have to force people. And that's part of what economics is. Go out and work, because if you don't work, you might not do anything. The pressure to pay bills is necessary for some people to achieve things in their life. I don't like it, but we all need somebody or something to kick our ass every now and then. We all need it. And the problem is that intellectual education is complicated because there's not a big market for it. You can produce complete rubbish and people will love it.